Well, hello and welcome to my final video news of 2021, and what a year it has been. I promised you a bit of a look back at the last 12 months and a reflection on what we have been through, and also my thoughts and predictions for next year, and specifically with the property market. Well, as I sit here now, COVID is still very much with us. We've got this new variant around, and so there's certainly a sense that the optimism we had as we went into 2021 of, thank goodness, getting 2020 behind us, certainly hasn't quite borne out. Got normal throughout parts of the years. Our vaccines have held well. Those hospital admissions stayed low, but with this new variant, obviously everyone's very nervous again. So what has that meant in the world of property? Well, we have seen the busiest market since records began. The pandemic caused a huge re-evaluation of home. Do I have enough space? Am I in the right part of the country? Do I need to be nearer to loved ones? Do I want a bigger garden? Can I get more value from not having to work so close to home? So that enormous evaluation of space, which had started in 2020, continued throughout 2021. Of course, we had the stamp duty holidays as well, but they just added fuel to a raging fire that was already burning with a property re-evaluation. A lot of people desperately trying to meet those big stamp duty holiday savings. Of course, the first one was introduced in July 2020 and was set to run to the end of March. That was then extended to the end of June with a tapered relief down to the end of September. So as a result of all that activity, big phenomena we saw on the market was rising prices. The market ended up about 7.1% on the year on prices. And interestingly, where had the biggest growth? Well, Wales. Double-digit growth in Wales, over 10%. And in the county borough of Rhondda, 21%, the highest performing area. And of course, as I've commented in my vlogs, Wales getting very, very cross about a number of second homers, newcomers coming to the area, driving up property prices hugely, as we've seen in Cornwall, of course. And will the locals be able to afford it? So they're looking to address that. But prices, they rose. They rose across almost all parts of the country, with the exception of London, which had certainly some muted growth in some areas, but actual declines in values in other areas, showing a real recovery though. And the rental market as well, boom as well, my goodness. Rental yields went through the roof, many people looking to leave London and rent and try a different lifestyle. And I'll touch on what I think that means for the property market for next year in a minute. So of course, sales agreed happened really quickly. The average time taken to get a property under offer was 30 days, which is a drop from the previous 50 days. But certainly for the stock we were selling, it was going under offer within a week, I would say. In Madison's, we were achieving an average of 104% of asking price and getting those sales through really quickly. And as you can see from this chart here, we've had a phenomenal 12 months. So proud of how my team have done. I'd like to publicly take this opportunity to thank them all so much for riding what has been an amazing roller coaster journey to record those figures that you've seen there. So a very dominant agent in the town, now the most dominant for 4-bedroom pluses properties, which is great. And as I say, very, very proud of how my team have conducted themselves to basically get through that extremely busy market with all the usual service that you'd expect from us. Of course, all those deals getting agreed meant that conveyancing process took much longer. So solicitors, they were drowning, surveyors, lenders, nobody could quite cope with the demand. So to get it sale agreed was really, really quick, but then to get it under offer, to get it exchanged took a lot longer, as enormous demands on the system. And my team, my gosh, we fought a lot of fires to keep those sales going through. Everyone thought that the property market might fall off a cliff with the end of September, and the last final stamp duty holiday didn't happen at all. Transactions activity stayed really, really high, and as we've come into December, we're seeing a slowdown, but that would be completely normal for this time of year. So my sum up of 2021, record number of 1.5 million transactions predicted to go through, prices rising 10%, delays in the whole process to get to offer, and really, really busy market across the board. What do I think about 2022? Well, I think prices will continue to rise. The basic laws of economics will come into play here. When you have more demand for something than you have supply, prices must go up. And one of the problems is many many sellers feeling very nervous about listing their properties for sale simply because they're worried they won't find their next onward purchase. So they'll then exacerbate the problem because they won't want to list, because they'll feel they won't find, and those properties that would have been coming to market won't be seen. So there's a real stalling on people trying to tie in their onward purchase at the moment. And I think those supply issues will be one of the headwinds that we will face. There's no doubt if you're feeling brave, you could lock into a great price at the moment, especially if you've got something super saleable in the area. The other headwinds, inflation, that will be an issue. It's already sitting at 5.2%. There was simply so much money pumped into the system over the last 18 months, from the furlough scheme, from the bounce back loans, from all the different retention scheme, the help that was put in place for businesses, and all that extra money created has gone into the system. They estimate, economists, that we're about £1,500 better off from not doing anything. And of course, if there's more money in the system than goods to purchase, prices go. And we've seen that a lot, of course, with the building world, where trades and supplies are getting very expensive. Of course, trade's not being helped by the whole Brexit issue. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. From those of you who've watched my vlogs will know that one of the concerns I've had is around employment, not unemployment and record rates of unemployment as the media kept predicting, but simply the fact that we have lost 1 million people from our UK workforce who've gone back to Europe. And those trades don't want to be done, or we don't have the skills from our UK workforce now to fill those gaps. So hospitality, enormous vacancies across there. Bricklayers, have you heard about the prices they can get at the moment? So that will be an interesting thing to see about how our money gets spent next year. And of course, how will they look to control inflation? Well, it will be interest rates. So we saw a base rate rise last week. It went from 0.1% to 0.25. It's the best way to control inflation. And that will be something that we will definitely see. But I'm not worried about those rising interest rates. I think we'll still sit in a historically very low interest rate environment. And the banks have for some time now been stress testing. If rates were to go up by 3%, would people still be able to afford their mortgage? And absolutely they can. So I think we'll still sit in a low interest rate environment, and mortgages will be very affordable for most. So those will be the headwinds that we'll see next year. It will be very interesting to see what happens if we do have any further measures to protect us against this new variant. But I am certainly predicting a very, very busy 2022. I do hope that you stay safe. I hope you have a lovely Christmas break. Enjoy New Year, whatever that looks like, wherever you might be this year. And I look forward very much to helping you in 2022 and keeping you informed, hopefully as I have done this year. Enjoy.